Now, allow me to jump into that conversation. I'll start from there. $3.5 million that you did raise in VC about in April. How has this been used for the growth?
Right, so mSurvey is a consumer feedback platform. So we help businesses to get feedback in real time from their customers to know exactly what the customers need and what they desire in real time to really push business growth. So if you look at the business economy on the continent, there's a lot of businesses that want to actually have that conversation with their customers. Across the continent, you have Nigeria, East Africa, you have South Africa. All businesses want to thrive. So as a result of that, since we are solving that problem, we earmarked funds to really invest in scaling it across the continent. We are fortunate to just open an office in Nigeria and also looking at peripheral markets to really look at scaling our clients across East Africa.
All right. Now, we do understand that $3.5 million that you raised did come after the launch in Nigeria. Could you please break down just a little of how this, we've seen the market react to your product as of when you introduced that? I think it could be somewhere between February and April.
Sure. So, I mean, all businesses, from telco to insurance to banks to retailers, they want to get customer feedback. They want to get consumer feedback. They want to actually get the pulse to know exactly what products and services are working. So because of that, businesses, they were doing this before by pen and paper, but now because of the agility and to compete, they want to be fast, right? And mSurvey creates that speed. You can really get the voice of your customer in real time. And because of that, we have a really good demand of customers wanting to actually use the product to do that.
You just mentioned something interesting there, that no one wants to do it as paper, pen and paper anymore. Everything has to be digital. And that brings me back to the conversation around Rwanda, which has shown so much strides around the conversation with moving in a digital economy. Like everything is done paperless now. You talk about the electronic billing machines. You talk about a cashless economy. People don't walk around with money anymore. And very interesting enough is that you are specifically working with Safaricom and M-Pesa on the same. So tell me, how has this industry seen changes, or how satisfying is it for the clients if you have a good number of them? Because I did see a couple. Yeah.
So I think we're solving a very interesting problem both on the consumer side and the business side. Businesses want to get feedback from their customers, right? And then you have consumers wanting to give businesses feedback because they may have a problem with your business. Here's an example: Java. Java is our customer. Java House is a coffee chain across East Africa and here in Kigali. So Java really, as you can see, there's aggressive growth across the continent. They need a way to know exactly how you normalize service and delivery for that product to the customer. So anyone who's paying with mobile money on Java, they're able to get feedback in real time to Java. So Java can actually pivot to make sure that they're delivering the top-notch service to their customer. So you're creating this ecosystem of the business wanting to be customer-centric, and the customer is actually getting value for what they're paying for.
We did look at a number there, 87% of the customers who are willing and wish that they could be able to give feedback. But, well, after giving feedback, then what else? What happens for me now?
That's a great question. And I think, typically in the realm of historically, you have pen and paper, you give feedback, it goes into this abyss. You don't know exactly what happens. We're pretty much changing that and evolving from, this whole I want to give feedback to make sure that an action is made. So you look at three components: data, analytics, and also action. So completely, mSurvey is providing that way for business to be more proactive and actively engaging with the consumer to say, hey, you have a problem, I'm going to fix it. And we've seen that with our businesses, whereas, and I'll give you an example. My wife walks into Java, there was, she has a little issue. She was able to give feedback. They contacted in 24 hours, to fix the issue and say, the next coffee is on us. If you think of that, you're creating a loyalty and a relationship between you and that business. You want to know that business has your back. You know, you want to create trust and intimacy. Whereas if anything goes wrong, that business is going to support me because I'm actually spending money with that business, and they appreciate me as a customer. So you're really transforming the way how consumers interact, knowing that I only have a limited wallet, and I'm going to put my money where it counts. And I'll put my money in someone who's going to trust me and value me as a customer.
Kenfield, what does mSurvey know about Africa that we already don't?
That's a really good question. And I think, you know, the thing that we're finding out right now with our core products is that, you know, we're really getting to understand the African consumer for what they really want and how they're driving the economy. You know, there's a disconnect between the business and the consumer, meaning, oh, if I have a product, people just flock to that product.
All right.
Whereas not realizing that the African consumer's wallet is constrained. And when I say constrained, every month they're making a decision, do I purchase this or do I purchase that? Right? So you want to make sure as a business that every month you're in that consumer's wallet.
Sometimes we're torn between the wants and the needs, and you really don't know which one you want to go with. So back to the point, what exactly do you know that we don't?
The wants and the needs, right? With a constrained wallet, you're going to invest. A need may actually turn into a want because you see the value in it to your lifestyle, right? So I think that's what you need as a brand, to know exactly what is that value I'm providing to that consumer. And you know, we've been able to map the consumer behavior over the last year in Kenya, knowing that there's a fluctuation in consumer behavior every month, right? And because of that, you need to have that pulse on those decisions that your customer is making, which may affect you, knowing that your competition may not be who you think it is.
All right.
As a Java, your competition may not be the next coffee shop. It actually may be Coca-Cola.
Who knows? Just allow me to jump to the next question, and this has to do with, I did do some calculations there, some adding on how many people that are using your services right now, like clients that you have. A good number, maybe 11 that were already out. So tell me, with all these companies that you have worked with or are currently working with, how have they benefited, and what the results are like? Because I need some numbers.
No, so I'll give you an example of one company. It's an energy company in East Africa. And since using our product with additional variables, they were able to scale their revenue to 800% return. Right? So when you hear numbers like that, you know that you're actually solving a core problem to that business. Java House, right? Java has an aggressive growth strategy across the continent, right? You like coffee, right?
Oh, right.
Right, and I think, for that, it's like they want to make sure that every Java that you walk into, you're getting the same experience and even more. They even personalize things based on certain cultures. Right. If you look at Java in certain areas in Kenya, they have ugali, right? You have a coffee house who's selling coffee, but they're able to embrace the culture to provide that. That's because of the feedback, right? They're really listening to the customer and really understanding what value, why did you come and sit in Java? Is it only the coffee? Or do you like the environment? Or what else with the environment that you like can I provide? Because I want to make sure that that meal that you're eating on this day, you're going to eat it next month as well. I want to be in that consumer wallet.